All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going live right now. This is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer. We're coming to you live from the studios of the Fullerton Informer in Fullerton, California right now. Today is Monday morning, March 9th, 2020. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And just as an aside, my contact information is P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. Once again, P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. What I'd like to do this morning, folks, is talk about what's going on. And I want to assure all of you out there that is listening to the sound of my voice that this is a fraud. This is a psychological warfare operation, and this is amounting to criminal activity by governments all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. I've got intel coming in from all over the world about what is happening and how they're basically cooking the books when it comes to these numbers of deaths and fatalities. And by the way, all of the controlled opposition agents out there that are playing this game of disinformation, blaming the Easter Bunny, blaming 5G, blaming a virus, blaming this, blaming that, you better wake up because you're part of this fraud. All right. I want to clear the air about something right now, ladies and gentlemen. The coronavirus is a joke. That's why they call it a novel coronavirus. It's fiction. You understand me? This is a fictional epidemic. Unfortunately, the response is nonfiction. And the response is criminal. People are losing all their rights. The economies are being destroyed. People are losing all kinds of money. People can't even wipe their butts. They can't get their hands on toilet paper. Not that that's the most important thing we've got to deal with right now. And corona virus is not being caused by 5G, folks. And this is part of the programming, okay? The 5G is not installed in places where this outbreak has allegedly occurred. You don't have the weaponized classrooms and homes and businesses. We do not have WiGig 60 gigahertz Wi-Fi right now. There are no oxygen absorbing molecules frequencies, okay? They're not broadcasting at 60 gigahertz anywhere right now, except in some commercial applications for the Internet of Things, in some fully automated ports and things like that. All right. I don't know what's going on with the notifications, but obviously, there's a lot of strange things happening, folks. 5G is not responsible for coronavirus. Coronavirus is a psychological warfare operation. The leading cause of death in the entire world now, folks, the coronavirus has saved mankind because now no one's dying from anything. The only thing killing anyone now is the coronavirus. Can you believe that only 3,000 people have died on the face of the earth in the last 30 days? That's miraculous. The coronavirus has saved humanity. All other causes of death have disappeared. The only causes of death now are coronavirus. That's amazing. How many people have died in the United States from coronavirus? 100. I guess it even saved all the aborted babies because 3,000 babies a day aren't being aborted because the coronavirus saved them. We're not hearing about anything but coronavirus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolute crap, okay? Absolute crap. Absolute nonsense. You guys hear me okay out there? All right, so my intel in Italy, on the ground in the northern part of Italy, the coronavirus in this gentleman's community was due to a stroke. It was an elderly priest who died from a stroke, okay? And they're reporting this as a coronavirus. See, everything now is a coronavirus death. Someone gets hit by a car, he had the coronavirus. Someone gets struck by lightning, he had the coronavirus. Somebody dies in a hotel room in Las Vegas surrounded by hookers with cocaine, it's a coronavirus death. Have you realized what's being done to us? Folks, they had a plan. They had a plan to weaponize every home, every classroom, every business, every plane, train, automobile, and city, street, and community center, shopping center, public library, public school with 60 gigahertz Wi-Fi called WiGig. They haven't rolled it out yet. They were going to roll out a fake epidemic and blame it on this technology. This technology is not here. This technology has not been deployed because we exposed this technology. WiGig is not in your home. It is not on the cruise ships. It is not in the cities. Most of the 5G systems are not broadcasting in millimeter waves right now. It's fifth generation microwaves. Those frequencies do not impact oxygen molecules. The weaponry that impacts oxygen molecules has not been installed. People are not dying from oxygen deprivation and 5G. People are dying from a fraud. People are being called coronavirus deaths when it's stroke or heart attack. Everybody that's passing away has underlying causes. Do you catch this? The root word of COVID is Ovid, which basically, if you're familiar with Latin, is derived from the word itself for sheep. Okay, we're sheep, folks. This is a cruel joke on humanity by the controllers. It is a massive psychological warfare operation. And I want to say congratulations to all of you out there playing a part in promoting all the disinformation, because you are the reason they're getting away with this, because you won't tell the truth. All right. The truth is this virus is a fraud. It's a hoax, and there's nothing to be afraid of. Okay. Think about the death rate from this. It's a joke, folks. What happened to the flu? What happened to heart attacks? How come we're not hearing about the heart attack epidemic? How come we're not hearing about the iatrogenic illness death cause, which is death by doctor? That's the biggest epidemic in the world. That is the number one cause of death, is physician, doctor errors, and prescription medication fatalities. That is the biggest epidemic, pandemic we face. And you don't hear about that. You know what they're doing is they're corralling us all in to the medical system. They're taking away all our rights. Let me tell you something, folks. The reason this flag is upside down is because we are in trouble. Because all of the radio stations, all of the television stations, all of the media, all of the newspapers, all of the magazines, they're all in on this, okay? They're all in on this. They're all part of the psychological warfare operation. And, you know, your life savings is going to evaporate in the stock market collapse that they're engineering. You're going to end up getting forcibly vaccinated. And fear not, because Bill Gates is developing a home test for coronavirus, right? This is unbelievable, folks. This is nothing more than a big scare tactic to get you all to act like the animals they've trained you to become. I mean, I have never in my life seen people so greedily panicking for hand sanitizer and toilet paper. Can I ask you a question? You stupid morons that are hoarding this stuff and tripling the price and selling hand sanitizer for $20. What good's that money going to do you if they cart you away to a camp and put you in an incinerator? Think about it. Bill Gates is involved in the testing now. Are you kidding me? Oh, so a false positive means what? And now guess what? The Americans on the cruise ship are subhuman, right? Nobody wants them. They're not human anymore. They're contagion. They're contaminated. They're dangerous now, right? Right? You okay with this, folks? Thanks, Trump. Thanks for playing along with this ridiculous game and promoting forced vaccinations and national ID cards and checkpoints and quarantines. Seriously, this thing's a joke, folks. This is an insult to everyone's intelligence. This is an insult to science. Science insults itself because it's such a rig job. But think about this, folks. Oh, all these people are testing positive. They got no symptoms. And yet we got to end the world and destroy the economies and take away everybody's rights and cause riots and mass panic. Let me tell you what's going on in Italy. Let me check and see if I've heard back from my correspondent there on the ground in Italy. Hang on for just a second. I was supposed to be doing something else this morning, and it's just a sec. Just a sec. More controlled opposition. Yeah, whatever. Okay. No, thank you. I'm not going to respond to that. All right, just a second. And by the way, folks, there's a group out there that's doing a heck of a job with this false narrative of all this stuff going on. Folks, the plan was to roll out WiGig, which is 60 gigahertz Wi-Fi, and have that in everybody's home by now. And the plan was to induce the respiratory ailments where people literally were going to be being knocked out and killed by this stuff. They were going to be dropping like flies, and they were going to blame it on a contagion, and then resulting in forced vaccination and all these other things. Well, guess what they're doing, folks? They're just making it up and doing it now. Okay? That's exactly what they're doing. My point to you is, I don't have any more information coming out of Italy right now. My point to you right now is, folks, that that now they're just making it up, and they've got all the authority. And by the way, you police and you firemen, are you that stupid? Do you really think that we've got this massive problem on our hands that you take away everybody's rights? Ladies and gentlemen, read my lips right now. Do not turn in your guns. Go out and buy as much ammunition as you can, and be prepared to defend your family against being dragged away to an internment camp that's called quarantine. Because there is talk coming out of the scientific community right now that is stating that once you're infected, you're a lifetime carrier. Read my lips. They're telling us that once you're infected, now you're a lifetime carrier. What does that mean? What are the implications of that statement? Do you see how dangerous those who control the media are and those who control our government are? And that is why they want our guns, because they will never create and release a weapon that they can't control. This bioweapon stuff is bullshit. Let me tell you the weapons that they're afraid of. They're the ones they can't control, which is the ones that we own. The ones that you can pull the trigger on and defend yourself with. These people that run things would never release a weapon they can't control. They would never release any type of so-called pathogen into the environment. The only thing they will release is what they control. And let me tell you what they've released right now, folks. Unbridled, unmitigated fear and disinformation. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what killed those people on that cruise ship. That is what's killing those people in Italy. A little bit about Italy, folks. Italy is an interesting country. It's been the center of controversy, and it's been a very outspoken critic of the deep state, deep in the heart of the Mediterranean, for a very long time. It's also a land of very peaceful, healthy people that live to a ripe age of well over 100. They have great climate. They have great food. They have a great agricultural production. They have just a great quality of life, and it's a very laid back, calm, peaceful life. These people do not know how to deal with psychological warfare, because those people have lived a very simple life for thousands of years. They live, for the most part, off the land. They eat natural, clean food, good cheese, good meat. They drink good wine. They breathe clean air. They like their anchovies and their bacala and their chestnut cookies and good clean wheat. They don't like a lot of GMO stuff over there. They had a pretty good country until their government got hijacked and forced the vaccines on them last year in preparation for this. You see, all the governments of the world that have a flag are a part of the cabal, folks. They're all playing ball. Anyone that's got a flag is in on it. Anyone that's got a space program is in on this psychological warfare operation. They're all playing off of each other. They're all playing the game. Those people in Italy, the deaths that are happening in Italy are a bunch of old people dropping dead because they're freaking out, because they're being told they're going to die. And then they're being told they can't leave their community. They can't go buy this. They can't go get that. They can't go trade this for that. A lot of them can't get their medication. So, of course, they're going to die. But everybody now is dying of coronavirus, even though it's a stroke, even though if it's a heart attack. Oh, but he was positive. Well, let me tell you something, folks. There's two things you probably should never do. Number one is turn in your guns. And number two is give a blood test to these people so they can diagnose you as a positive, so they can take me away, so far away, take me away, right? They're going to take you away to a faraway place, right? And they may hold you forever, because they're telling us that if you're a carrier, you're a lifetime carrier, even though you have no symptoms, right? This is unbelievable. Now Bill Gates is getting into the testing kit business. So right now, this is such a joke. Right now, you have people that control the positive results of this in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Centers for Disease Creation. So they're the only people in the world that can subjectively determine that you're positive. And once you get a positive diagnosis, you lose all your rights forever, because they can take you away and they can lock you up somewhere and they can hold you indefinitely without a trial, without a jury, without the ability to post bail, without the ability for them to prove that you're a threat. And they can hold you indefinitely as they paint the picture in the media that you're a threat to everyone. And now there's two classes of people, those that are positive and those that aren't. And as you all sit there smug, surrounded by your stacks of toilet paper and your stacks of hand sanitizer, as you count your money, you moronic idiots, you're next. First, they came for the intellectuals. Then they came for the thinkers. Then they came for the smokers. Then they came for the drinkers. Then they finally came for you. What are you going to do? Hit them with the pizza box when they show up in a hazmat suit with a gun pointed at your head and you say goodbye to your wife and children forever? You don't think it can happen? It's happening. China's gone live with this dissidence disease. In China, they've used this COVID-19 hoax to go round up people that they want to exterminate. And they're putting them in incinerators. They're not dying of coronavirus. They're being executed. It's called dissidence disease. This whole 5G thing hasn't happened yet, folks. I am very specific in what I've talked about. I am very specific in what I've brought up in the past. 2 years ago, I did that video where I explained they were going to induce respiratory disease and neuroinvasive symptoms. They were going to mimic invasive symptoms with electromagnetic frequency weaponry. They have not rolled that out yet. You do not have a 60 gigahertz WiGig router in your house. They're not in the stores. I could probably get one online, but you don't have any devices in your home that are 60 gigahertz compatible. So why do and then we don't have any satellites beaming anything onto the cruise ship, okay? What a bunch of bullshit, okay? And the YouTube algorithms promotes all this crap and gets everybody confused and everybody looking in 15 directions instead of looking in the mirror and saying, hey, wait a minute. We're being lied to. Hey, wait a minute. They can't take all these people away and lock them up on a ship. Do you know what happens on one of those boats when you're on an interior cabin and they shut the air off and they make you wear a mask and you're 82 years old and they tell you you're going to die? You're going to die. You will die. You'll freak out. You won't sleep. You'll have a heart attack. Some of these people are so jacked up on heart pills from years ago into the doctors and eating a bunch of ding-dongs and drinking too much Jim Beam and smoking too many Pall Malls and taking too many serotonin reuptake inhibitors and watching the news every night, getting all jacked up on these pill commercials and all this stress you out news and bad endorphin crap producing blue light, Wi-Fi. Everybody's got all these electromagnetic weapons in their homes, right? Making them sick, wearing them down. They don't sleep. They eat crap. So they go on a cruise ship and then they lock them in a room and for 2 extra weeks. Oh, we don't know when we're going to get off. Now we don't know where we're going to go. And of course they're going to die. All right. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. They're killing people with fear. This disease is a novel. That's why they call it a novel coronavirus, right? COVID-19. It's actually COVID-33, folks, because this is a total psychological warfare. It's got the 33 on it all over. This thing is a joke. Okay. What, 366 deaths in Italy? 366. I mean, come on. Let me just double check and see if my correspondent's gotten back to me. I try to get this person on live. Just a sec, folks. Yeah, they got Italy shut down. They've got it totally down. By the way, there's a guy out there named, well, I'm not going to say it right now. I better not. It's probably not a good idea at this point. I don't want to call you out just yet. I'll give you one chance to redeem yourself, or I'll throw you in the pile with all the rest of these circus clowns. Look, folks, we got to wake up and we got to realize that they're going to get ready to lock these cities down if we don't call them on their lie. This is a fraud. All right, I'm going to summarize once again what's going on. The coronavirus is a hoax. Okay, the coronavirus is a COVID-19. It's a novel COVID-19. It's a novel. It's fiction, folks. This is a joke. Okay, you look through. If this thing was so contagious, everyone would have it. If this thing was so dangerous, there'd be 1 million deaths by now. If this thing was such a problem, we would not be sitting here having this conversation. We'd all be dead. All right. All these things are hoaxes. The people that control the media are the same people that are controlling the medical system, the same people that control our military, the same people that control our government. And they treat us like a bunch of cattle. And now they're coming out in the open after they've told us for years that we're a herd. And they give us the sports program called The Herd. Now they're herding us up and locking us into pens in the slaughterhouse. And by the way, people, most of your neighbors are carnivores. Most of your neighbors are meat eaters. What's going to happen if the lockdown continues and the trucks don't come in with the prime rib and the ribeye and the hot dogs and the hamburgers and the sausages? Think about it. I've talked about this. I've talked about a lot of things, folks. All right. So cancer's not killing people anymore. Heart disease isn't killing people anymore. The flu's not killing people anymore. Only coronavirus is killing people now, folks. And the death rate in the United States has dropped from like 25,000 a day down to 12 because coronavirus is the only cause of death in the United States now. Isn't that amazing? How stupid do the government officials think we are? Well, they know how stupid we are, folks, because they produce the schools that made us stupid. They produce the colleges that make us stupid. And they produce the programming that makes us into complete gentrified idiots. Our minds have been destroyed by the government mind control systems, and they double down with the media and the music industry. All right, I'm going to summarize this. I know I keep going off track. Here's the deal. Their plan was to install 60 gigahertz WiGig systems in the homes, in the businesses, and replace all the current Wi-Fi stuff that's broadcasting on 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz right now. 5 gigahertz is not 5G, folks. 5 gigahertz is still a microwave frequency. 60 gigahertz is the frequency of WiGig that they were supposed to have installed in all the homes by now. It's not there. They're not getting their electromagnetically induced illness. That's why we only have 129 deaths in the United States from the flu that they're calling coronavirus, or 129 deaths in the United States from medication overdose or stroke or heart attack or cancer. Everybody is, that's got coronavirus death had an underlying condition. Where are all the dead children? Not that I'm looking for them, not that I want them, but how come this highly contagious and highly deadly disease has not killed any children? Children live in and occupy some of the most squalid petri dishes imaginable, public school classrooms, where they put 40 of them in there, lock the doors, and black out the windows, and then spray chemicals all over the place to shut the air off because the stupid teacher gets cold all the time because all she does is sit on the couch and play on her iPad and count the days for her next day off, right? That's what they do. They get no fresh air. They get no sunlight. They're eating a bunch of GMO sugar crap, and they're in there full of vaccines, slobbering all over everything. And how come there's no children? How come there are no schools with outbreaks? How come there are no dead children? How come Disneyland is still open? How come Disneyland doesn't have any coronavirus? How come the MGM Resorts International sold all their casinos in Las Vegas in the last 6 months? They sold the Bellagio. They sold the Mandalay Bay. They sold the MGM Grand. They sold the Circus. I think they're selling the City Center. They're keeping the Luxor because that's where the entrance to the tunnels are that connect to the Getty Center all over underneath the country, where the children go missing by the thousands every day. That's the only place on the Las Vegas Strip that's got a big phallic symbol in the front of the place, the big obelisk, right? The big pyramid. They hung on to that place. They knew something was coming because this is a rig job, folks. This is a psyop. This is a fraud. And they're using it to take all our rights away and take us away without firing a shot. Their plan was to go live with an electromagnetically induced epidemic. Well, you know what? They may have missed their chance, or they're overplaying their hand, or they're getting ahead of themselves because they're trying to go live with this beta test. This started out as a beta test, folks, and it looks like they may have changed their mind, and they're going all the way with their draconian enforcement of this hoax. And they're doing the unthinkable. They're turning us into two tiers of citizens, those infected and those that aren't. Those that are infected, They're using the psychological conditioning processes of the media to justify locking them up forever and throwing away the key and eventually making compost out of their ashes. Are you going to stand for this lie and deception campaign? I'm not. That's why I'm telling you about this. This is such a joke. You know, I get such a kick out of it. I might as well get on the subject of all the controlled opposition out there. You know who you are. You have connections to Hollywood. You have connections to the cabal. You have connections to the dirty members of the club. And you guys are playing off each other, working both sides of the aisle, playing good cop, bad cop with your disinformation campaign. Let's start out with the 5G space appeal. What a freaking joke, right? Millimeter waves. Oh, yeah. They can't go 20 feet on the ground through the air because the air knocks them down, but they can go 65,000 miles through space from a satellite that's got enough power on a solar panel that's really nothing but a Google Loon balloon, right? Really, folks, you really think a satellite can beam 5G into a cruise ship and give everybody 5G sickness? Seriously? Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah, the satellites can go 100,000 miles through clouds and dust and smog and soot and all the components of the atmosphere, the CO2 and the oxygen and the water vapor. Are you kidding me, folks? Did you know a mister will knock down 60 gigahertz? If they put up the thing on your cell phone, the telephone pole in your backyard, hook up a mister and turn on the water and knock the signal right out of the air. Atmospheric attenuation is a big problem for millimeter waves. That's why they don't work. That's why the plan is to put fiber optic cable to your poles in your backyard and then put a transmitter on the pole in your backyard to irradiate the crap out of you in your backyard, and then have you buy a relay system and bring it into your house called a WiGig router repeater that's going to broadcast 60 gigahertz in your house. And that's the one that was going to make you sick. They're not here yet. And the WiGig doesn't work outside because the air knocks it down, the water knocks it down, the trees knock it down. So they got to broadcast from the light pole to your house, and then you got to hook this thing up by your window so it picks it up through a clear glass and then rebroadcasts and irradiates your house. Guess what? We don't have that stuff here yet because it doesn't transmit that far. How's it supposed to transmit from space to a cruise ship, folks? The people dying on the cruise ship are dying of a broken heart and dying of fear and dying of panic. And now they're destroying beautiful countries, the livelihoods of people. They're killing all these old people in Italy with the fear. They're making them sick. All right? Now they're spraying all this God knows what everywhere as they watch us kill each other. I'm going to tell you something right now, folks. This flag's upside down for a reason. The United States is in serious trouble because our government is turning on us. Our government is selling us out and buying into the plan to manage us like a herd instead of treat us like who we are. And that is sovereign people, sovereign citizens, sovereign human beings with rights given to us by our Creator. And they've taken it upon themselves under the guise of a complete manufactured fraud and hoax to take all those rights away from us. Where's your line in the sand, ladies and gentlemen? Are you part of the controlled opposition out there? Are you part of the cabal? Are you part of the disinformation programs? I know who you are. I know who all of you are. I'm keeping a list of who's being naughty and who's being nice. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You're all going to be exposed for who you are and what you've done to us. We're going to name you. We're going to expose your connections and your methods of operation. But as of right now, I'm here to tell you that you have nothing to fear but fear itself. Okay? Going around with a mask on just increases your carbon dioxide levels in your lungs. It breeds germs all over the inside of that mask, and it cuts your oxygen flow way down. What in the world is wrong with you people? You actually think a so-called virus can be stopped by a mask? Do you understand the size of what they call a virus, if you even believe it exists? It's way smaller than the mesh on those masks. Okay? Think about it. All right? All right, hang on. All right, once again, to break this down really clearly, China is going live with taking people away to extermination camps with this coronavirus thing. The Chinese government is the model. The Chinese country is the model. And the Chinese police and military are the model. The people of China are very passive. They've been totally disarmed. They've been totally enslaved. They're totally, the black swan, the black mirror. They're all doomed over there because they were allowed to be disarmed. They allowed a government to go tyrannical on them. Okay. And so consequently, as time goes on, what has happened is they have been the ones that have been the victims of all the tests, all the beta tests. You know the vans that go around and sterilize women. You know the vans that go around and perform forced abortions on women. They drag people out of their homes and kill their unborn children. Did you know that goes on? Well, it was going on in China for a long time. Now there's like, it's a boys club over there. You know, that's the worst nightmare of a teenager. I remember going out when I was young, and we'd roll into a bar, and man, there's 50 dudes to every chick, and I'm like, we got to get out of here. China's got 100 to 1 men because they killed all the girls, folks. China's got a big problem. They got no women. They got a bunch of dudes. Well, that's one of the problems when the government goes crazy with its experiments with the one-child policy. So everybody killed their daughters, right? Everybody murdered their unborn girls in the womb. Now there's no women over there. Well, they got no guns. They can't defend themselves. And when the police come to the door and go, you got to open it, because guess what? If you don't, they'll just kick it in and blow your head off. So now they're dragging people away and locking them in boxes and driving away in trucks and throwing them into incinerators, right? Because they have dissidence disease, because they've supposedly been infected by something that doesn't kill you. The real disease is the government here, folks, because the government's a threat. You got people that want to forcibly give retroviral drugs. They want to give vaccines now. Hey, I'll take my chances with this hoax, okay? I'll take my chances breathing fresh air. I'll take my chances going to Costco and trying a sample of that smoked sausage. Now they're not even going to give away samples in the stores anymore. It was hilarious. I was at an Asian market yesterday, a Korean market in Buena Park, and everybody that works there is wearing masks, and they have all these samples, right? Have you ever been in an Asian market where they got all these samples? It's amazing, right? Usually you have to wait in line. There wasn't one person eating any of the samples. So I took my time and I tried every freaking sample in the place. It was unbelievable. 10 different kinds of kimchi and anchovies and all kinds of neat pickled this and that. Quite a culinary experience, right? Everybody was afraid of the samples. You think I'm afraid of this nonsense? Let me tell you what I'm afraid of. Some government goon showing up in a truck spraying me with chemicals. Some government goon showing up in a van with a hazmat suit on saying, come with me. Some government goon showing up to my house saying, we want to test your blood. Some government goon showing up saying, you got to take this vaccine. Some government goon showing up saying, you got to take this medication. You know what I say? Hell no. See this behind me? You know what this stands for? This stands for freedom, folks. The freedom to believe the truth, the freedom to know the truth, the freedom to stand for the truth, the freedom to tell the truth, the freedom to live for the truth, folks. And you know what that truth is? Here it comes. That truth is Jesus Christ. And that is the most horrific name in the book to those who are controlling all of this fear and lies and deception. These people hate Jesus Christ that are doing this to us. We stand for Jesus Christ, and in Jesus' name, we will not submit to your lies and deception as you serve your father, the devil, in this one, folks. And Father, in Jesus' name, hear my prayer, and may you have our back right now. At this horrible time where they're scaring people to death, we know that fear is their weapon. We know that they use perversion and fear and subversion on us like we're a bunch of animals to trick us and deceive us into doing what they want us to do. So we can be factory farmed for body parts and fear and perversion that their demonic realm that they serve feeds off of. I'm not having any part of that, folks. And I'm not putting up with this. And neither should you. And you know what? If you need toilet paper, order it online and you can have it delivered first thing in the morning with no delivery charge. And you don't have to worry about getting into a car accident and climbing over these weaponized idiots at Costco that are fighting over hand sanitizer. And go back to going out to eat. Go back to living your life. This is not a problem, folks. The problem is the government. The problem is the reaction to this hoax, not the fake disease. Your chances of dying of some phony coronavirus are a lot lower than getting struck by lightning on a clear day. Did you hear what I just said? This is a joke. I'm not happy about this. Your bodies were created by Almighty God with an incredible immune system. And that's why they want to get into your bloodstream with all these vaccines. That's okay. You really think the government is in the business of health, folks? You really think the government is protecting your health? Really? As they put cell towers everywhere? As they put weaponized LED streetlights everywhere? As they weaponize all the car headlights? As they force vaccinations on all of us? As they put Wi-Fi in classrooms and they make children stare at blue light backlit TV set screens all day that sterilize them with radio frequencies coming out of the bottom of the thing right at the reproductive organs? You really think the government cares about health when they deliver all of this melatonin disrupting microwave radiation and all these weaponized home environments that they've created for us? All this blue light coming out of the TV set, all of these lies in the educational system, the inverted food pyramid that makes you into a 300-pound person that can't get out of a chair. Seriously? You really think the government cares about your health? You think the government cares about the truth? Really? That's why this flag is upside down, ladies and gentlemen. And when they stop their charade, I'll turn it the right way it's supposed to be. But right now, this nation is in distress because it's been hijacked by a bunch of psychopaths that are playing a really sick, cruel joke on the world right now. And too many uninformed people are falling for it. And I'm here to try to tell you that the biggest thing you have to worry about right now is not some disease, but some goon coming to your house in a hazmat suit. And you got to start thinking what you're going to do when that happens. And I'm not kidding, because that is the line in the sand, folks. I mean it. I mean, the government is not in the business of promoting public health. The government is not in the business of protecting public health. The government is in the business of managing a herd, ladies and gentlemen, and culling this herd and factory farming this herd and all of the emotional products that come out of subverting this herd through the mind control systems of Hollywood, through the black satanic electronic television psychotronic Ouija board called a smart TV that is telling you we're all going to die from a fake disease. And all the fear that you exude emanates through your roof, and the demonic realms up there feeding on it. And then when you're done watching the news, all the kinky sex stuff comes on, right? And all the demonic creatures from the abyss, all these video game movies, I guess. Everything is subversion and perversion and filth and lies and garbage. And that's what they're feeding us. And you go to the store. I mean, how in the world did all this food get legalized? How did all these chemicals in the food get legalized? How is it possible that we've got carcinogens in all the food and it's on the label and it's in plain English, and yet it's on the shelves? The same reason that you're getting this coronavirus hoax fed to you, folks, because they think you're a stupid animal and they're going to treat you like one if you don't wake up. This is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the studios of Fullerton, California, the studios of the Fullerton Informer. And I want to thank you for tuning in today. My contact information is P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. Once again, because they'll probably chop this up, P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. All right? Now, we have to understand, folks, that we are not going to have this label put on us, okay? We're not going to let them get away with this. We've got to just expose them for what they're doing. And thanks for nothing, all you controlled opposition scumbags out there. And you know who you are. You know who you are. And you keep spreading your lies, your disinformation. You know what? The blood's on your hands. It's not on mine. And you know what? When I go to meet my Lord and my Savior and my Maker on that final day, when he calls me home to go hang out with him above the firmament in eternity with all the host of heaven, And you know what he's going to say to me? He's going to say, well done, good and faithful servant. Come inherit for you what has been given to you before the foundations of the earth were laid, and enter into your rest and enter into paradise. And you know what I'm going to say? Heck yeah. What are you going to say who have sold us all out for 30 pieces of silver? Huh? I'll tell you what. Why don't you save that statement for the day you come face to face with the one who put the 75,000 miles of circulatory system in your body? We'll see what you got to say when that day comes. That's going to be between you and him. In the meantime, I'm going to keep serving him, and I'm going to keep putting the word out there that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through him. All right, folks, I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to cut this right now. We've gone 40 minutes, and at this point, what I want to do is I want to just encourage all of you to stay strong and don't be afraid, because the only thing to be afraid of is the government's reaction to this fraud, folks. And you need to keep your faith in Jesus Christ. Jesus is not found in any of these phony, worthless, crooked churches. All right. Jesus is not found in any of these television sets. Jesus is not found in any of these stupid religious books that are out there. Jesus is not found in these Christian schools. Jesus is not found in the public schools. Jesus is not found in your government buildings. You know where Jesus Christ is, folks? He's everywhere. He's welcome. Okay. And the first place that should be is in your heart and in your mind. And if your heart and your mind is full of the vile, evil, filthy, subversive, perverted crap that you're being fed by these wicked, degenerate, inbred scum, then he's not welcome there. The eyes are the window to the soul, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, protect what you feed them. This is Joe Imbriano signing off. Thank you so much for tuning in for this broadcast of the truth being spoken from the headquarters of the Fullerton Informer in a nation that's in distress. May we ask God's hand of protection over our family and our nation, and may wisdom come upon the minds and hearts and souls and eyes and ears of its population. In Jesus' name.